Avs fall in the shootout, but they maintain their point streak. 8 straight games with a point 25-26 season, and it wasn't the Avs tonight taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. It was for the first time since the old Adams division, the Northeast division, back in 1995, May 3rd of 1995, the last time these two jerseys faced off against one another, the Hartford Whalers and the Quebec Nordiques. It started off terribly for the Avalanche, 4-1. Scott Wedgwood gets pulled in the first period. Trent Miner comes on, and in relief, stops every single shot he faces and backstops the Avs all the way to a point in a game where they were completely toast after 20 minutes. As we welcome you guys into Between the Pipes with Alex Ryanemi and Mark Springer. A little delayed today. Spring was hosting our coverage, our network coverage, as host on AM 950 this evening, as the Nuggets kicked off their 25-26 campaign with an overtime loss on the road at the Golden State Warriors. You heard that game on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. But Spring, this is a game, as you watch all of them closely, you were very much involved with, and the power play continued to suck. They go 1 for 7, but they find a way to fight back and get a point.
Well, and if you could help me out here, because after Kreckman and Lindahl tonight, I had to get some things ready for the broadcast and do the pregame show, and then I had to, do other responsibilities for Kreckman and Lindahl podcast, etc. Can you help me out with the first period? Like, was Scott Wedgwood just, were those goals on him?
I think one goal was on him, the short side snipe from Aho, I would put on Wedgwood. I think the rest of them were pretty atrocious turnovers. Landeskog drops a puck on the power play, essentially to Seth Jarvis, and Jarvis goes down shorthanded. Breakaway, makes a really good move. Another one was a flubbed puck from Cale Makar in the defensive zone that turns over right in front of Wedgwood, and he can't really do much about. He was due for a couple of stinkers. I wouldn't call it all on him. I think the first period certainly was a tale of turnovers at the wrong time. And it's funny, I came out of that first period, Spring, going, they played pretty well. If you looked at the expected goals, Colorado was like, their expected goals after 20 minutes was 2.8 compared to Carolina at 1.92, something close to that. And I kind of agreed. My eyes agreed with that. I thought they were very dangerous in the offensive zone, but their turnovers were just as dangerous going the opposite way.
Okay, and I glanced, was able to see post Landeskog turnover, the breakaway and the goal. I assume Landeskog on power play 2 there. He was that had to be power play 2 out there, right?
Yeah, power play 2, and I apologize. It was not Aho with the first goal. It was Eric Robinson, the short side shot.
Sure. Okay. That's all about all I needed to know. It's funny. I mean, even I outshot him 48-31. Man, as I really started to settle in and watch this game as the second period, as we got into the midway point of the second period, it's just like Avs are just dominating the play. And, they get that Parker Kelly goal. That was a weird one. We didn't have volume on here because I was in the control room where the Nuggets game was on. And so Cause was the audio. And then I Rod Brindamore challenges that thing. I think
weird challenge, a really weird challenge on the Parker Kelly goal. So I don't know why Brindamore is, one, taking a timeout to look at it even further, and then two, challenging a play that, like, very clearly it's almost unchallengeable. It felt like it was a flub there from Brindamore, but I don't know. Like, the two of the worst power plays in the league right now, Carolina and Colorado. You think Colorado's power play is bad? Carolina's is worse, and both of those teams are at the very top of the NHL.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I can't even imagine being worse than Colorado. And Carolina's good. That's crazy. But I mean, I guess he's thinking hand pass, and I assume you can. I mean, I'm thinking as I'm watching this, like, you can deflect a puck with your hand.
You can't. You cannot redirect it into the net, like the pushing motion.
If you're pushing it, but he didn't push. His hand was just there.
Yeah, it can hit your hand and go in. It was a dumb. I don't know what Rod Brindamore's thinking there. It was a dumb challenge.
Yeah.
Now, I guess it's not dumb when the Avs power play is going to suck dick. For lack of a maybe. It does right now. It's terrible.
Oh, it's awful. Oh my God. But
Maybe that was a little touch too far. That's my 11 p.m. brain working on 3 hours of
come on, the
sleep.
real people
Maybe I
don't
should
give
have
a
touched
damn.
that one.
If you're a real human being, you don't give a shit about what Raj just said. Um,
Yeah, I derailed the show there. Yeah, I don't know why he's challenging that. But if you
I don't know why
know that the
Parker
power play
Kelly's.
is
I
going
mean, it's weird. If
11.8%, whatever.
Parker Kelly, he does stick his hand out, like he takes his hand off his stick. I that is a little weird to me. But hey, it was just it like went through his fingers. It was like this, Raj. What is that? But it went right through it. Like that's what it was. Um, wow. Yeah. Here we're having a show.
Yeah, you think
Um,
Colorado's power play is bad at 11.8% this year. Carolina's at 7.7.
but no, hey, good shot from Malinsky. The body's in front. What's amazing? Body's in front, and screens, tips, all that, and the way that they had, been controlling play, and now it's 4-2 with about half a game to go. Oh, they're very much so in this thing. And now I am starting to think like there's no way you're losing tonight in those jerseys. And I know that the Whalers jerseys are real nice too, but something about those home ice blues. I mean, those are on your
Oh,
home ice.
that's a unique blue, man. My wife was watching on the TV tonight with me, and she was like, "I almost want it to be darker." And I go, "I get what you're saying because it's striking. Like it is a very, very vibrant blue, and it's a whole bunch of it, right? They are blue top to bottom. There's no breaking that colorway. Like I suppose you get the vibrant red and the white fleur de lis in there, but it is blue top to bottom. Um, I kind of looked at her. I was like, I understand, but it's such a unique blue. I don't want to change it. That the uniform matchup tonight was worthy of what I believe is the NHL's most entertaining matchup, and that is Colorado versus Carolina. The jerseys matched the product.
Yeah, yeah, two really good teams who played in previous spots years ago, and they have this history and heritage. And those uniforms, they're very old school, both of them. So they wouldn't quite fit, the modern style. But they're both pretty as hell. They are, and the blue. I love the blue. I almost wish they'd wear them more. They look so good. And it's just it's like and I think the Broncos are going with their old school look. I don't know what it is about this city, and maybe it's my bias because we're from here. But dude, the Broncos D and that blue with that orange, and then these Nordiques jerseys, they're two of the best uniforms I've ever seen. They actually might be the two best. They are amazing.
It's funny, the two games that we've mentioned this evening, both the Avs and the Hurricanes, and then um, the Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors. It's a Thursday night, and football's being played. And Minnesota played against LA, and the Chargers redid their LaDainian Tomlinson
Mhm.
Jr. Seau era jerseys tonight, and those things
Those are really nice.
slapped.
Yeah, no, those are
Absolutely slap. It's a great jersey week across all sports.
yeah. Yeah, and I think we're getting more of it in the NFL on Sunday, not just the Broncos. I think it's like a throwback Sunday. But yeah, I love the history, but they just look so good. They just look so good. But I'm thinking, no way you're losing in these jerseys. Well, I guess what it was no way you're not getting a point. Hey, Marty Natchez, another great snipe, another great snipe. Um, and then let's talk about the power play. Look, man, they to start the third period. So they had one of those ones that I hate that happened a game or two ago, and I brought it up. End of second period, overlap to the start of the third period. Well, they don't score in the first portion of it. Go to the locker room, come out, clean ice as you mentioned, and now they have Val Nichushkin out there. They took Brock Nelson off, and they put Val Nichushkin in that middle area. And man, it don't even in that like 30 seconds they got, but then they had a couple other after that. And even though they didn't convert, and by the way, how about Val just bodying up? I can't even remember the Hurricanes player, but like blue line to net, he's just fighting this dude off. And ultimately gets dragged down and draws the penalty. Val is such a beast,
Should
man.
have been that should have been a penalty shot, by the way.
Yeah, maybe it should have been. Although, do you want the Avs taking penalty shots? Because
I don't want them taking power play opportunities right now. Like, I would very much rather have you go in on a penalty shot than trot out an 11% power play.
But as far as Nichushkin on the power play goes, like, man, and I think money's playing a factor here because Brock Nelson just got a good little contract. What, $8.5 million? Natchez is due to get well over 10. It's like they want to put their money on the power play. But here's the thing. Val Nichushkin is just he's paid just over 6. It's funny, they do have Olofsson out there. But and Olofsson's cheap. He's like $1 million. But Val, dude, he's so much more active and throws the body. And I'm even talking about this from an offensive perspective. The way he can box dudes out and get open and just kind of cut in to an open area, and he does it with force. It's just way better than Brock Nelson for what they need in that role. So it's a great move. It's a great move to put Nichushkin in instead of Nelson. And I would still like to see, because there were moments on these power plays. Now, when Nichushkin does score, he's net front. He's net front creating havoc, and that's how he's able to score. But there are also moments, because they are still going so wide, where even though I thought Nichushkin was throwing his weight around in the middle of the ice, because there was no presence beyond him net front, the Hurricanes PKers were still able to get to him quicker than they should be able to,
Right.
because he's still just so. I think on one hand, massive positive putting Nichushkin out there. I still would like that extra body with him, whether it's behind him or in front of him.
Yeah, I think they made one change today, and obviously the Nichushkin net front power play ties that game up and guarantees that you're going to get a point. No, I actually didn't guarantee, because you continue to have to kill off penalties at the end of that third and going on into overtime. He has to be there. I want him net front. I want him on that power play unit. If it's him or if it's Landeskog, I don't really care. Like, pick your poison
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Nichushkin was on tonight, man. He was flying. I thought the penalty that he took at the end of the game, after he beat his own defenseman and had a clear lane to the puck, was a little boneheaded, like the grabbing the stick penalty, and that was warranted. The only call that went against the Avs that was not a good call was the Jack Drury embellishment call. Everything else was warranted. Like,
Yeah.
the Natchez interference in overtime is interference 100 times out of 100. The Brock Nelson call that was not made on the ice and then the referees got together afterward was textbook high sticking. And people were like, "Oh, of course, you have to even out these power plays." And at that point, I think it was
Now, who's
7
saying
power
that?
plays for
Those were the
Colorado
penalties.
and 3 for Carolina at that point. They're penalties. I don't care what time in the game it happens. We're not playing playoff hockey right now. Like, you don't have to swallow your whistle on October 23rd or whatever it is today. Um I I thought the game was refereed just fine. I
Yeah.
just think you ran into two teams that are elite teams. Think about this. Carolina is running at south of 8% on the power play, and Colorado is at 11% right now. Those two teams are a combined 11, 1, and 3. That's how good those two teams are at 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's good, but man, 1 for 8 on the power play tonight. If you go 2 of 8, and is that asking too much to go 2 of 8 with the talent on this team?
No, 25% is a great
You
power play.
you win this game. You win this game. But it was good to see them finally make a change that made sense and that they needed to make, or at least one of the options that made sense, and that was to put Nichushkin out there. So finally, thank you. It took you I mean, I don't know what I mean, they were 0 for 6 at that point, and they were 0 for, like, 15 or
They
something
are
like
now
that.
4 for 34.
I mean, it was just on such it took mercifully. It took longer than it should have, but they finally did a positive change that we had been advocating for. It was a very logical one. So and it's still I still would like to see another change or two, but at least this is a step in the right direction. And yeah, the Drury embellishment, like, and dude, and what a I hate embellishment. What is this? And we talked about this diving embellishment. Like, sometimes you get dragged down. What do you want him to do? I did not see when I saw that live, and then I even see the replay. And again, I don't have sound on in the control room. So I'm just going off what I see. And I'm talking with Berto. I'm like, wait. Why are the Avs not on the power play right now? And I'm like, did they call that? And I'm of course at first I'm like, is that embellishment diving? Go to the box score, boom, embellishment. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I
I
wonder
did
if it's
not see this man
embellishment.
embellish a damn thing.
I wonder if it's embellishment just because at that point in the game, Colorado was so heavily favored in terms of power play opportunities where I I could understand a referee going, well, if it feels like it's embellishment, I'm just going to bring both of those guys and like I'm not going to have to hear an earful from Rob Brindamore at this
Do you,
point because you could tell Brindamore is about to lose his mind.
do you think
I
it was
guess I could have seen it.
because a penalty that was called just before that was Sebastian Aho interference on Drury. And that was another one where I see it live and I'm like, dude, puck's long gone. Puck's not there.
Yeah, it was interference.
That's interference. But Sebastian Aho is barking up a storm. And then after Drury gets taken down, Aho's just behind the play, and he comes up and he's barking again at Drury and the ref.
Aho pisses me off. Aho is a really hateable hockey player. I've noticed that the past few times that the Avs have played the Hurricanes, there's not a lot of hateable players on the Hurricanes for me. Like maybe Seth Jarvis can get on your nerves a little bit just because he's a little water bug and he's everywhere. But I love that out of a hockey player. Um, Aho is a skill guy that isn't a top tier. He's like a C star Hollywood actor as compared to the A-list stars that are Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, your Tom Cruises of the world, if you were, or if you will. I I look at Aho as a step or two below those guys, yet still very, very good. And he's also just kind of a dick. And you don't really see that out of Finnish players all that often.
Well, and I'm thinking like maybe, because Aho's chirping after the interference, and it's like, dude, that was interference, but he's chirping, and now he's going to chirp again if the refs were just like, fine, fine. We're sick of you. Embellishment. There, are you happy? I hated that call. That was terrible. Yeah, the Natchez hook in overtime. I mean, yeah, I see it live, and I'm like, yep, I know what that is. But hey, shout out to the 3-man PK, and here's the first time we'll mention really Trent Miner. I mean, he's great overall. How about the couple saves that Trent Miner has at the end of regulation
Has to.
with that left pad? Real nice. But then on this PK in overtime, Brock Nelson and the reason because the Avs just had, and they were playing 4-on-4 to start this overtime because of the penalty kill that leaked into the overtime.
And they
So
looked
you got
great when it was 4-on-4 and you weren't either
Mhm.
on a 4-on-3 power play. Honestly, the 4-on-3 power play was fine in overtime. You had a couple of decent looks. If the pass to McKinnon lands flat on his tape and isn't a little high and he's trying to bat it out of the air, the game's over.
I thought
So I
maybe
thought
Nichushkin should have shot that.
yeah, probably. You
I
want
know
him
what
to
it was. I
fire
know what
that
he was
thing?
thinking. I know what Val was thinking, but
So I thought
yeah,
the
you're
4-on-3 power play was better than the 5-on-4 power plays. At 4-on-4, they dominated the play. Like if
yeah.
honestly,
No, Avs are
overtime
great
used to
4-on-4.
back in the days where the Hartford Whalers and the Quebec Nordiques played against one another, the overtime games back then were 4-on-4 5-minute periods, and then you just tied if nobody scored. Colorado at 4-on-4 would be a damn good overtime team. They suck at 3-on-3, but
I know. I was thinking
4-on-4,
the same thing when it went to 4-on-4. I was like, This is good, actually. This is good because they are not as good 3-on-3. Um, but the reason it's Nelson out there, because I'd like Nichushkin in that role, but he was out there. He was out there with the group, the four to start. So they go to Nelson, who's, look, he's a heady veteran. And that's what they needed in that moment. Same with Brent Burns and Josh Manson. Like, really a good, you couldn't go McCarr and Taves because they were just out there on the
That
shift
was
before.
dude. It's a 2 minute. That is a 2 minute kill at 4-on-3, and all three of those players were excellent.
Yeah, they were great. And then, man, who was it who won the face off? Because the puck goes out of play. I want to say that, did they put Drury out there? I've been meaning to go because I just missed it. Like when they dropped that puck, I was like, oh,
It
who
was
won
either
that?
Drury or Parker Kelly, one of the two.
Whoever won that face off, huge, because then now you got Kale and Taves back there. Boom, clear it, boom, over. And at that point, I'm thinking, like, how do you lose this game? How do you lose this game? Well, because the Avs suck in shootouts. That's how you lose this thing.
And again, you guys know my mantra on points in the regular season. Just get a point. If you get 1 point, all you have to do is win like 5 more games and you're basically a playoff team. If you lose every single game in overtime or a shootout in a season, minus like 5 of them or 10 of them, you go from being a playoff team to like a division winner if it's 5 or 10 wins, and then the rest of them are overtime losses. Like I've got it squirreled away, Spring, somewhere in a notebook, because I did it. I did the deep dive into it like 4 or 5 years ago because Dan Tanner and I screamed at each other about it, and I was like, I'm gonna use the math to prove you wrong. I'm gonna find my notebook where I went through the years of like 2015 to 2018 or 2019 and showed the teams with the best shootout in overtime records versus the teams with the worst. And the amount of times that it actually factored into getting a team into the playoffs having a better shootout record, it happened like 2 times over the course of 5 seasons where it actually mattered. So you guys know me. Just get a point, especially in games where you're down 4-1 after 20 minutes.
No, I get it. I get it. And obviously in the playoffs, it's 5-on-5. It's regular. There's no shootout, certainly. So it doesn't matter. And like I'm Nathan McKinnon, if you get him on a breakaway in game, he's a menace. And the goaltender shits himself. And Nate just buries that thing. But in a shoot, and they didn't go to Nate. And so if I am going to talk about the shootout, though, which I do want to, because look, Seth Jarvis scores the opener, and it's one of those really nice moves where you go to backhand, gets Minor or any goaltender to bite. It's really nothing any goaltender can do at that point. It's all about, can Seth Jarvis transition it back to his forehand, not have the puck slide off of his blade and go into no man's land. Kind of almost did. That thing got a little leaky, but he was able to control it enough, pretty well, actually. It was a little dicey because those are tough. It's easier said than done to go backhand to forehand like that in tight quarters, and he executed it. The Avs don't have a single player with those like moves, those mitt moves, those deaky moves. Avs
Right,
are not a
the
very
last dude who has it, maybe Nichushkin has that reach. The last guy who really had it, Naz Kadri.
yeah.
That slow meandering.
Mm-hmm.
Kadri had it.
And then it's just all about the mitts, man. It's all about how soft and smooth your hands are and this manipulating of the puck on a string. Yeah, Val's done it, but he does it kind of in a more forceful way where he's still very north-south. And when he does, because we've seen one or two of them from him where he goes, to the backhand, but he's like flying into the end boards. He's still like a train. Well, Avs don't have a guy who's just gonna whoop, 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 whoop. And that's what you need in shootouts.
I guess if we want to get Trevor Zegras here,
That's kind of the name that came to my mind.
I'll
but
stop
guess
doing
what?
the show if we get Trevor Zegras here in Colorado. I'll stop doing the show.
It's a very specific skill set that they really don't need.
Yeah, man, it's I hate the shootout. I hate it so much. I would rather them play another 5 minutes of 3-on-3 something. I would rather them figure that out before you go back to shootouts. Now, I don't want a tie. Like if you have to go to a shootout to ensure that there are no ties in this league, I'm fine with it. But I would rather them extend 3-on-3 overtime just a little bit, maybe to 7 minutes, maybe to 10 minutes. I don't think the NHLPA will ever go to that. Maybe you could get them to go to 7, man. It's just
See, I do like the shootouts, and the only reason I don't like them is because the Avs are terrible at them. Other than that, I like them. Like, I hate ties. Don't want that. I know they used to have them. Don't want that. It's the most efficient way to end that thing, and it makes the most sense. I don't know, what are you going to do? Hardest shot competition? I don't
no,
know.
just play hockey.
No, yeah,
Like
I
I
understand that, but
extend
you
the
really
overtime.
you can't gas these guys. It's the regular season. They don't want to do more than 5 minutes. So if it's 5
Could
minutes
you
are up, then
hold
that's
on?
what you got to
I have an
do.
idea. I have an
Yeah.
idea. Could you take a page out of college football's book? Would this be too stupid? There's a drill in hockey. It's a power play game where on a power play practice, we used to do this on Thursdays with the teams that I coached all the time because we would then fly on Thursdays to go out to their showcases. You would go power play penalty kill to end the practice. So you got a good flow and then you do a little shootout thing to mess around. 5-on-4 on each side, nothing in the middle of the ice. 5-on-4, a power play versus a PK on one side, and a power play versus a PK on the other. And there's one puck on the ice. And if you clear the puck to the other side, you just stand and you watch the other power play go. So I don't know. At home, the team at home gets the puck on their power play first. And if they score, the game's over. But if the puck gets cleared, then the opposite thing happens, and the home team now has to defend a 5-on-4 PK.
So I don't hate the idea.
I'm just trying to not
Yeah,
go to a shootout.
I've never heard that. That's original as hell. I don't hate that. Wait a minute. Did you say home team gets the puck first?
Sure, I
Or
don't know.
do we got to coin?
Maybe
Is it
we
like
could
NFL? You got to coin flip this thing.
you can
Heads or
coin flip it.
tails?
Maybe we have a center ice face off. Whoever
Okay,
wins the
do
face
center ice
off, you
face
get to
off.
start.
But see, and then it'll be like the NFL where it's like, well, now the other team needs a possession. So if you score on your first power play, then the other team, they get a chance, or they're gonna cry mad. No, I don't hate it. It's a fun idea.
I'm over the shootouts right now. Maybe I'll get back if the Avs ever start being anywhere near.
But hey, here's
decent at
another
them.
thing, Raj. How many of those penalty sudden deaths, power play sudden deaths, do you think the Avs are winning right now?
Not many. It's got to swing back the other way. I was looking at the expected goals when they're at 5-on-4. They are top 10, and they got even higher tonight. They're top 7 now in the league in terms of expected goals on power plays. Like, the numbers tell you
Hey,
they're just freaking snake bitten. I don't think they look good more often than not, but the numbers tell you they're better than 11%.
okay, I'm not going to completely shit on expected goals for because I get it, and they use this in soccer. Like I get it. It's about your danger, it's about your looks. Bro, my expected women for should be through the roof, but is it? No. So expect me this, expect me that. What are the results? And look, I don't think it's a coincidence that when Nichushkin comes on in the third, and it wasn't just the one he scored. Like they finally made the change to start that period, and took a few. It took a few power plays still, but I could even see when Nichushkin, like, oh, this is better already. This is better already. Even though they weren't scoring, like it felt like the middle of the ice was actually a factor again. With Nichushkin out there. So, I think it's been structure and some of the personnel decisions that they've made.
I see you guys in the comments. I'm not trying to explain away a bad power play. The power play is fucking terrible. I'm not explaining it away. What I'm trying to say is that like the overall data says they are worse than or they're they're worse than what they should be. I don't think they should be a top 10 power play right now. I think the numbers would push them back to the middle. The numbers say
Yeah,
they're doing a little
but
bit
again, with
more
the
and they're a little bit more dangerous. I'm not explaining it away and saying like, oh, this is just bad luck. I'm just saying that like
no,
over
no,
the
no, no.
course of
But
a
and
season,
another like with the expected goals for like, and so yeah, perhaps, and I'm sure they have been. It feels like they haven't been, but they have been putting shots towards net. I don't think they've been overly dangerous.
I will agree with right. So that's where I will agree with you. I will 100% agree with you in the science will lie to you a little
Sure,
bit.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can throw pucks at net. How dangerous are they?
Totally. And
Yeah,
that's where I'm going is like I'm not trying to explain it away. My eyes still tell me the power play stinks. I'm just trying to tell you that like the data set goes there's something to be hopeful for.
yeah. No, it is something. It's not nothing. It's something, and I think I think it is a relatively significant-ish something, if that makes sense.
Relatively significant dish.
Um,
That's pretty good.
yeah, I mean, but it's that power play has Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar on it, you know. So even if I hate their structure and any other personnel decisions around that, it still has McKinnon and Makar. Like you can come out there and just bang your head against the glass as an Avalanche power play guy, and eventually you're going to score because you have Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar. Like you could literally just go out there and sit on your ass, and sooner or later you're going to score because you have Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to give some hope here to the situation. Like if you look at like a couple of years ago, off the top of your head, who are your favorite power play teams in 2023, 24, those years? Like I would assume Edmonton comes to mind, or maybe the Panthers come to mind, or Tampa Bay, or even Dallas comes to mind, right? Those do those sound agreeable to you? Those are
Yeah.
good power play teams.
Yeah.
All of those teams in 23-24 were top 7 expected goals power play units. Carolina, it's funny, Carolina historically good power play team. Right now, terrible. That year Carolina was number 5, Tampa Bay was number 6, Dallas number 7, Edmonton number 3, Florida number 1. So what I'm saying is that like over the course of the season, expected goals does typically tell you
Yeah,
it should get
yeah.
better.
Typically.
I don't know. I'm trying
What
to
gives
find
me
nerd stats to like.
what gives me the hope is that they put the choo-choo train out there. That's what gives me the hope, actually.
I had a fun time watching tonight's game.
That was a great game. It's been a lot. I mean, even the Mammoth game, the ESPN broadcast really hurt it, but other than that, it was kind of a fun game. The Dallas game they lost. Like so these are the 3 losses, and they're 5-0-3. How about that? You know, still no regulation loss. But I think the Dallas, like look back at that Dallas game. Yeah, the Utah game did kind of suck for many reasons, but tonight and the Dallas game, they lose those games. They're the better team the vast majority of those 2 games and deserved 2 points in both those games. But that's just the way the sport goes sometimes.
Blackwood is not necessarily coming on the trip. Like Bednar would not commit to him coming on the 2-game road trip. They've got a 1 p.m. game on Saturday against Boston, and then New Jersey on is that Sunday? Do they go back to back against New Jersey? So Jersey on Sunday, and they come back home 2 days later to play those very same Devils. So I would, if I'm Bednar, I'm not taking Blackwood on the trip. And if I'm Bednar, you know who I'm playing against Boston? Trent Miner. It's not because like I don't believe in Scott Wedgwood anymore. It's just that I believe that a backup netminder can get taxed very quickly because they're not used to being the go-to guy game in and game out. We saw that a little bit with Pavel Francouz when he like starred for the Avalanche. He would come in and he played 2, 3, 4 games in a row and play really well. And then if he had to play an extended streak, you'd see that that level of play start to peter off a little bit. And I think we started seeing those signs from Scott Wedgwood a couple of evenings ago. I want to give him basically 2 games off. Give him 5 periods off and this overtime and shootout, and then let's see him against New Jersey, which is another heavy contender in the East on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's there's actually a few things here. Number one, I wonder if Trent Miner making all 20 saves on all 20 shots against him tonight changed things. I don't know. We'll never know. Maybe didn't. My point is, let's say Trent Miner comes in tonight and he's awful. Does Blackwood make the trip? Because they just don't want to go to Trent Miner this weekend. I don't know. That's a world we won't know because Trent Miner came in and made all 20 saves on the 20 shots against him. So very good. He was great. Like Trent Miner was great. So now all of a sudden, you can be like, hey, Mackenzie, even if we maybe were going to take you, if Trent didn't play well in his relief appearance tonight, now you can stay home because
give him his bone.
Yeah, because Trent Miner just earned a start. So
and that's
now
the thing, Spring, you're 100% right. Like that is a thing with coaches. You pitch a 0, you get to start the next day, even if it's a back. Like you pitch a 0, you're playing tomorrow.
Yeah,
do it.
And I'm with. I think that's the way they'll go. Another thing, and I mentioned this when Wedgwood started against Dallas, even though they lost that game, and really I didn't put much, if anything, at all on Wedgwood in that game. He's a former Devil, and I always like, Wedgie went up against his former Stars. He's a lot of former things. He's a former Devil, so I don't hate putting Wedgwood out there against one of his former teams.
Love that.
But
and Boston is the worst of the two opponents.
That's true too. But one of my thought processes too sometimes is, do you sell out on the first game
like NBA teams do,
and you just say we've got to get 2 points in Boston, because we're going to be a little more tired the next day? If you're just going off of who's better in a vacuum, Scott Wedgwood is better than Trent Miner. You could go Wedgie against Boston just to sell out and ensure that you get those 2 points. But hey, like you said, Scott Wedgwood, and yeah, they haven't had any back-to-backs yet this year, but this is his 8th straight start. I mean, Scott Wedgwood, his career backup, he's not really making 8 straight starts a lot in his career. You get tired, even if you don't have back-to-backs mixed in, and you have a couple days off in between some of them, you get tired. And maybe he does need some rest here to get things right again. And Trent Miner's hot. And it's kind of like, this is what Wedgie was. He was hot. You ride him. Trent Miner's hot now. You ride him. So I am with you. I'm thinking Miner Saturday, Wedgwood Sunday, but just wanted to make the argument for the other side.
Yeah, the most starts in a season that Scott Wedgwood has had is 32. Back when he was a 29-year-old, when he played for 3 teams. He played for New Jersey, Arizona, and Dallas in the 21-22 season. He started 32 games in that season. Last year, he started 18 games. He's nearing half of that already, and we're not out of October.
Yeah.
Don't gas him.
No. And I think you are saying that, look, he is an excellent backup who can make spot starts over a stretch, and then it does become a ceiling. And there's nothing wrong with that.
All right. I could see that, man.
Yeah.
Fun game tonight. I think it was a glowing endorsement of what I have long believed for the past 3-4 seasons is the NHL's most entertaining matchup, and that is Carolina in Colorado. I've been begging for it to be a Stanley Cup final for it feels like 3 or 4 years as well. Hopefully we get that this year. That would be a delightful end to the season in June if we get to watch 7 games of what we watched tonight.
If this is the Cup Finals, can I get at least 1 game of Nordiques Whalers in the Cup Finals?
That would be sweet, wouldn't it? I don't know if Bettman would let it fly, but I hope they do, because again, it was aesthetically gorgeous. The Avs broadcast had Michel Goulet on it. They had Joe Sakic. It was a wonderful way to honor the heritage of the Quebec Nordiques and the Hartford Whalers and the old WHA teams that helped create the NHL as we know it today. It is not a slap in the face. If you're one of those people online saying it is, you're taking away from the culture of a fan base that has been hurt for so many years, take the dump out of your pants. It looked awesome. It felt awesome. And not only did they do it for an aesthetic purpose, tonight was all about honoring the past. And I thought that the Avs and Ball Arena and Altitude Television did a spectacular job of it. Take the dump out of your pants, have some fun, and go buy a jersey.
Yeah, and here's another thing too. Like, I've actually seen a handful of Quebecers. Is that what they're called? Quebecers? I'm not
Quebecois.
Quebecois. Who like it. I really haven't seen a negative. The negative comments are coming from people who aren't even from Quebec. And if you are from Quebec and you don't like it, then I would say this.
Go root for Montreal. They're
Yeah,
right
it's
up the
same
road.
province.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Like, if the Avs don't whip out the Nordiques uniforms or do any sort of Nordique anything, people will forget you ever existed.
Yes.
And you will fade into obscurity, into the abyss. At least people now understand your history and can get a little lesson and shout. They're shouting you out. And look, your team was always going to leave. It's just the way it was. You can't change it. And it happened for a reason. It's a market thing. It's a business thing. So I honestly don't see anything but positives. I actually can't come up with one legitimate negative.
I don't think you can, man. Like those WHA teams, they mattered, right? Like
Yeah.
the teams that went to the NHL, I think I already mentioned them. Edmonton, Hartford, Quebec, Winnipeg that went from the WHA and moved in. Like the only teams that don't exist anymore that actually got into the National Hockey League are Hartford and Quebec. Like Edmonton's still here. Winnipeg is still here. You haven't lost the history of those two teams because they're still around. Do you want to lose the history of Quebec and Hartford? I know they're not storied, either one of those franchises, but like one of them was the birthplace of Joe Sakic and Adam Foote and Peter Forsberg. One of them was the end of the career of Mr. Hockey in Gordie Howe and home to one of the greatest logos ever designed in sport. You want to lose that because you think you're going to hurt the feelings of the people that live in Hartford?
Exactly.
Grow up.
Well put. And one more thing. You said, hey, Gary Bettman, and I know you're right, Gary Bettman. He probably wouldn't let it fly. Hey, Gary. Hey, Gary. Do you like ratings? Do you like attention? Do you like money? Because guess what? And am I saying it's going to skyrocket the ratings? No. Can't hurt. It will not hurt. It will only help. So how about you get the turd out of your pants, to steal what Raj just said, and give me a Nordiques Whalers game in the Cup Finals. Should we get there?
All right, it's going to do it for us before I fall asleep on air. For Mark Springer, I'm Alex Ryanemi. Avs lose, but they get a point. 5-0-3. They extend their point streak to 8 games. They'll take on the Boston Bruins at 1 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. A 2-game road trip. They'll see Boston on Saturday and then New Jersey on Sunday night. They come back home. No game on Monday. They'll see New Jersey at home in Denver on Tuesday. So once again, for the first time since May 3rd of 1995, the Hartford Whalers come into Denver and defeat the Quebec Nordiques 5-4. We'll talk to you guys over the weekend.